right, folks, welcome back to season 5, the December episode of the BoomBastiCAST. And boy, do we have a gift for all you out there today. Friend of the show, the great Kurando Mitsutake. Love that guy, gentleman and a half, great filmmaker. Popping into the show to talk about his new film, Lion-Girl. You know, we got a little bit, it's been a little bit since he hasn't been on the show in a couple years. COVID shut down the world, ladies and gentlemen. COVID shut down the world. So we caught up a little bit with the Maniac Driver film as well, which is another masterpiece of cinematic endeavors. And always a pleasure, man. Kurando's a great dude. Love talking to him. Great guy, knowledgeable, knows his shit, not afraid to talk about stuff that people might not want to talk about, but is very real and kind of damaging to indie filmmakers. So it's good that people talk about these things. The elite class trying to put their cigarette butt out on us, man. They're trying to put their cigarette butt out on us.
We're the John Benders of indie filmmaking.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Alexander Hawk, how you doing over there? Doing good?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. We're coming fresh from the set of The Wicked Hollows, new film in the works. Just about done with the wrap on it. By this time, we'll probably be done by the time you catch this. But it's been a journey, you know, a lot of great crew and cast up on this thing. I should have said cast first. But why? BoomBastiCAST. That's why. Now, a lot of great people on the film went at it, doing it big, and can't wait to be able to let you all see that, you know, some good stuff. But like I said, we got a great guest with us today, Kurando. Love Kurando, dude. I can't say how much I love Kurando. I know he's getting into the merch game a little bit. I want a plushie toy of Kurando. I think that would be great. If we can get one for our boy James Balsamo, we can get one for Kurando Mitsutake. You know what I mean? For sure. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Alex, do you want to say anything before we bring the man in?
Nothing other than he's a very talented filmmaker. He's also done some acting. He was in 2 episodes of the series Heroes, which was really cool. But I mean, one of the great things I like about him is you watch his films and they're homages to, you know, American cinema, Japanese cinema. I mean, he has a lot of influences like Gallo, and he brings all those influences and he melds them together, and I really appreciate that, as not only as an artist myself, but also as a viewer, because you can always watch someone who has one type of influence and you see it throughout their film, but a lot of times you don't see multiple different influences from either different cultures or different artists, and putting them together themselves is making a new art, making a new form. And that's what he does, and that's why I like his films, because it's taken stuff that we've seen before and putting them together, but by doing that, he's making something new. He's making something original. And that is what I really like.
You know, I always love when a filmmaker wears his influences on his sleeves, and you can watch it and pick up on the influences and the little homages and stuff like that, because you know you're dealing with a filmmaker that's a fan of film. You know, oftentimes, you know, we've ran into filmmakers before in the world, which is crazy that they don't, filmmakers that don't like film, that don't own a lot of film, you know, you couldn't tell you things from movies, and their movies are usually pretty soulless, you know what I mean? You can usually tell. So like, you know, it's
like filmmaking by numbers.
Pretty much.
And of course, I'm not trying to bash, but a lot of them that at least I've known that are like that come from film school. A lot of them,
sometimes.
A lot of them, and film school. When people ask me about whether they should do film school, whether they should spend the money for it, my advice is, and of course, it's not the right advice for everybody, but my advice is film school is great for the connections. If you want to just know the basics of making a film and you want to do 100 episodes of the latest sitcom, go to film school. That's perfect for you. Won't expect anything from you. Just show up and know the basics. But if you want to do something new, you want to actually make
Want to
film.
inspire. You want to inspire a new generation of
Yeah,
filmmakers. You got to be creative. You got to break the mold. You got to be not safe with your filmmaking. You
yeah,
need to
you
go.
got you gotta you gotta get in the trenches. You got to, I mean, you got to make film on your own, because when you go into a school setting, unfortunately, they hate creatives. They hate being creative. All they want to do is like, hey, this is a camera. You point at this. Here's a 2 shot. Here's a 3 shot. This is, over shoulder shot, and all, which is stuff you do need to know, but you
Yeah.
can pick that up from watching any film, and that'll save you a good, I don't know, $10,000 at least for a semester.
Well, we won't go too heavy on that because this is Kurando's episode, and who knows where he falls with opinions on film school. I know he went to film school, so he probably finds a little bit of
Oops.
value in them. You know what I mean? And there's definitely value in film school. I think what Alex is trying to say is, like he was trying the biggest. We've talked about it on the show before. We think the biggest upside of film school is the connections, like Alex was saying, and I think nowadays with social media, every town has their own community of filmmakers. I think we both are very strong believers in the best way to learn anything is to get out there and just do it. You know what I mean? Trial and error. You might make some short films. They might not be worth watching, and we've all had them. They might not, but you're learning how to do this, run this equipment. You're learning how to deal with actors. You know what I mean? You're learning how to deal with issues as they come up, stuff that you don't really learn in the classroom. But I'm sure there's value in film school. That's what they say. I've got a lot of the books that you would get in film school. So Mr. Rogers taught me how to do films. All right. Fred Rogers used to come over my house and teach me how to do fucking films. And he'd have his Marine tattoo showing. And he'd say, Matt, don't worry about the tattoo, brother. And I say, Mr. Rogers, you the man, Mr. Rogers. And he'd pat me on the head and say, that's right. That's right. Rest in peace, Mr. Rogers, legendary character. Alex watched the documentary, which I heard was good. I got to check it out.
Yeah, it was.
Watch anything good recently before we pop in with Kurando?
I watched this film Lion-Girl. That was really good.
That's good stuff. I watched Three Women the other night, and it was fun.
With
Well, don't get wild, don't get crazy, don't get me cut down. Yeah, don't get us cut off of the book, the fucking tube, wherever we're at. Yeah, Robert Altman, big fan, of course. Yeah, it was mid, it was kind of had a creepy psychological vibe to it. There's a laugh. Sissy Spacek does this laugh. It's like, oh, 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 oh. It was like eerily, very creepy, bumming me out a little bit, giving me the creeps. There's also some cool effects he did with waves throughout, almost like he had a little pool going in front of the camera, which is probably what they did. Seen Thanksgiving recently too, talked about it on the book. So I feel like a lot of y'all did. Thanksgiving, Eli Roth Thanksgiving was fun. You know what I mean? Fun. Kind of what I expected of it, you know what I mean? So I guess check out my Facebook page and get my full rundown. But we're not going to talk about that stuff when we have a true legend with us today. The man, the myth, the greatest legend of all. You know what I mean? The great Kurando Mitsutake. Welcome. Kurando, welcome to the BoomBastiCAST.
Thank you so much for having me. Great to see you guys. Thank you.
Always a pleasure, man. Thanks for coming back.
Thank
Love
you.
the multi-talks. So Alex, this is your first time getting to sit down with Kurando. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, I've seen your stuff. I really love your style, and it's a lot of fun. I gotta say, it's interesting. I mean, like watching Lion-Girl, and I really felt, maybe it's just me, but I felt like it was almost a mashup, style wise, of Japanese and American, like, style put together.
Okay.
I, and I thought that was really interesting because of, with the way you have it, where you have the two square off, and then you have the subtitle, the title of, like, the beam that the
Sure.
character uses, and all of that. I thought that was really cool, and really, you know, almost had a little bit of a feeling of, like, Pokemon, where they're using the different,
Sure.
I call you Pikachu, use
Right.
lightning bolt. I thought that was really cool. I really thought that
Right.
was fun.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's basically, I mean, kind of a mishmash of, anime, American movie, Japanese movie. That's really who I am. I was born and raised in Japan till I was 17. Then I came over here. Um, I grew up here, so I've lived in the States for over 30 years now. So, I'm I think I am the hybrid, between the Japanese culture and the American culture, and I think Lion Girl, the style of it, really that represents who I am, and I definitely wanted to pay homage to Japanese anime and tokusatsu stuff. Like whenever the hero does something, subtitle
Yeah.
of the superpower or the beam or the
Yeah.
whatever, just comes on the screen. It's like, and also I love the voice of God narration that frequents in those genre, anime and stuff like that. And I grew up watching shows like that. So and you rarely see voice of God narration for American subculture, pop culture stuff. So
Yeah.
I wanted to definitely incorporate that. And so so that's really my style. I've done that for my other movies too. So
Very spiritual, which I appreciate. You know what I mean? We're talking
cool.
about American. They don't put God in there. They're like afraid of the God thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now, what was it? Go Nyagi? I could be murdering his name. Loosely based off of like his characters, right?
Yeah, Go Nagai
Oh,
actually. It's yeah, he's the living legend of Japanese manga world. He's unfortunately his notoriety is not that huge in North America,
yeah,
but in Europe, like France, Italy, Spain, his animation stuff were all over the TV. My generation, say like the kids who grew up in the 70s and 80s, in Europe, Go Nagai's name is, household name over there.
yeah.
So it's very fascinating. But yeah, Mr. Nagai, I've been lifelong fan of his work. I've read all his comic books. I collected his books, and so it was such an honor to be able to team up with him and adapt this newly drawn, never seen before character. Originally, wrote, drew for us. This was something that he created for us to adapt into a movie. So that was really amazing. So yeah, the Go Naga is amazing, and he's my creative hero, and I finally got to work with him.
Hell yeah, much respect to him for sure. What is the difference between the manga and like comic? It's two different styles of comic,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I'm not a specialist on American comic books, unfortunately, so I can't really compare those two accurately. But
Yeah,
um, I think the huge difference is, usually for Japanese manga, the artist, it's basically one person thing. It's like an artist comes up with the story, and he does the drawing. He or she may have a few assistant to do the background, or the like some parts painted just black, or
Coloring and stuff like that.
yeah, they may have an assistant, but usually in the manga world, the artist himself are the writers and stuff like that. So basically, he or she has a total creative control. And I think most of the American comic books I know of are group effort.
Yeah,
They have the writer, they have different artists. So I think that's the I guess the production of it. I think that's the biggest difference between manga and American comic books.
I support that heavily. I wonder if like the process to that takes a little longer, you know what I mean? I mean, the collaborative effort's always cool, but you're creating something, you kind of want to see it through, so to speak, you know what I mean, and get your full vision out there. Which is
Yeah.
seems like a huge undertaking, much like making a film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically, Japanese manga artists are the, writer, director, editor, everything rolled in one,
Yeah.
and playing the, writing the dialogue for the main character too. So basically, essentially, he or she is playing the characters, So yeah, I think I think the different comic book magazines has different style of editors, and the editors will guide the artist what direction to take and stuff like that. So it's very interesting creative process.
Yeah, Lion-Girl is very cool. It's like a post-apocalyptic, world that it's almost happening in, and Lion-Girl itself's kind of like the chosen one, which is very cool. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, that's kind of a go-to setup for a Japanese hero narrative is like
Yeah.
he or she is the chosen one, and they're not aware of it, and basically the majority of the story is how he or she fulfills that role
Yeah.
in the narrative. And I love the post-apocalyptic world. We shot that movie in California, and just outside of LA, we have beautiful desolate desert. So
Yeah.
I love shooting in those locations. And yeah, so that was kind of a not the setup naturally came out of me, like, okay, let's set this superhero narrative in the post-apocalyptic world, and yada yada yada.
Well, were you shooting this when COVID broke out? Wasn't like in the middle of it, I think, or
Yeah, this personally, Lion-Girl is a movie about pandemic and COVID. Uh, yeah, the when uh, the project was greenlit right before the pandemic, and well, like a half a year before pandemic happened, and then I was working on the story, corresponding with Mr. Nagai and stuff like that. Then I finally got the approval to write the script. That's when the pandemic broke out, and we were in lockdown, and we were wiping the groceries with the
yeah,
alcohol wipe.
yeah,
Remember that time,
oh yeah,
like it was, we were like all scared, and I was really depressed. And on top of COVID nightmare, we had Trump America. Like
yeah,
it was a double whammy nightmare, and I had the hardest time focusing on my fictional apocalypse when the real apocalypse was taking place right in front of me.
yeah,
And so I was like, how the hell am I can focus on this fictional thing? And my answer was just basically make Lion-Girl story kind of symbolically about pandemic. So the main monsters in the movie Anorak, that's corona spelled backwards,
okay,
and it's infectious. It's a symbolism. And a Lion-Girl Botan in the movie talks about no one saw the meteorite coming, and like, is the world gonna be like this forever? Blah blah blah. That was my feeling. Like, no one saw the pandemic coming, and would we get the world before back? And so that's the I don't know if I answered your question right, but yeah. So this Lion Girl and the pandemic Corona outbreak really, I mean, it's an inseparable thing, and Lion Girl is symbolically about the pandemic, and yeah, we our pre-production was during the pandemic, and so was the shooting. Right when we started shooting, Omicron just kicked in, and thank God no one got sick on the show, because with our small scale movie, if someone came down with the COVID, it was it. Like, I don't think we could have stopped for a week and pick it up again. That type of thing. So we were really blessed that no one came down with COVID.
That COVID deal was so bleak. As a filmmaker, did you ever like lose hope that you would ever get to finish the movie you guys were about to pop into?
Yeah, I was devastated. Like, when I was working on the script, that's when I swore the studio's gonna unplug this movie and just abandon it. But my producers fought with the studio, and they kept it going, and they were we were able to, like, say, okay, we don't know when we can start shooting this, but let's use this time, this lockdown time, to really work on the script and polish the story. So I'm really forever in debt with my producers, who saved the project in a studio during the pandemic.
And when you guys came back, was it the mask? And I know that like a lot of that all the bigger than our films, they had the protocols they had to fit into, with of having the check them before they come on set, or what was it, like check them 3 days before you go on set, and then when you're on set or something like that?
Yeah, we had to follow all the, because we used the SAG actors, Screen Actors Guild actors. Even a little guy like me, we had to follow the the Hollywood Union protocol. So I think that was really the hardest thing. It's like, this was my sixth film, and it's the biggest budget so far, and like, really huge chunk of money. Like, we're talking six figures. Just going right to the COVID budget. We had to hire the health officer and all that, and the crew and cast, they had to test it before they can come on the set or even do the rehearsal. So that was really kind of a mind-boggling thing, that we're dropping this huge chunk of change onto the thing that's not going to be reflected on the screen. So that was sad.
That's tough for an indie filmmaker, because just getting the budget to make the film is difficult. You know what I mean? And then actually having to, oh my God, what was the vibe when people first started to be able to get back on set? Was it they still kind of weary? I know we were in it for a while, even though we were back to getting regular stuff going. It was still a fear lingering heavy,
I think we got really lucky with the quality of the individuals we were able to gather. I mean, we were cautiously approaching to everything. We behaved. We didn't do anything unsafe. So I think the fear was not really big on set. But we had fun. We come together to make movies. That's all we want to do. So I think we weren't afraid. I mean, we were cautiously having fun, and I think everybody wanted to get back to work, and we were able to do that.
Yeah, a lot of really great talented actors on the film. Derek Mears pops, obviously has pops out there. What was the process of getting him involved with the film?
Derek and I had this very interesting kind of path crossing all over the world. Actually, we were guests together at the German fan convention couple times, and at that time, I was my appearance over there was with Asami, who was the star of my movie not Lion Girl, Gun Woman, and so Asami doesn't speak English, so when we go to international fan conventions, I'm kind of actually busy as her translator too, and so I couldn't really get to know Derek all that much, but we saw each other on passing, and at the breakfast table and stuff like that, so we were saying hi to each other. We started to kind of recognize each other, and then I think it was a year before a pandemic, we both attended this fan convention in Massachusetts called Rock and Shock.
There it
Unfortunately,
is.
it's not. Yeah, it's not active anymore. But
Yeah.
I think it was like a second to the last year of it. But on that flight, from LA to Massachusetts, we were on the same flight, and Derek was there with his wife Jenny, and we just really became best buddies on that convention. And so when I finished the script of Lion Girl, I knew I wanted to have an amazing actor for the main villain, and I knew we couldn't afford Derek Mears, but I just wanted to get his reaction to the script. So I sent him the script. Turns out he's actually a huge fan of Japanese pop culture. He watches anime a lot. So he just got the world right away after reading the script, and he wanted to do the script. He wanted to do the movie. So he was like, "Hey, Kurando, I want to help you out. I'm going to do this for the scale, and I'm going to call my agent and just secure my schedule for your schedule. So let's do this together." And man, both Derek and his wife Jenny actually plays Ginchio, the bad sidekick for Kishi in the movie. So they helped me out so much, both in front of the camera and behind the camera. So it was kind of my gift to them to have them together on the screen together for the first time. So it became a family affair, and it was great. Jenny did amazing job playing Ginchio, the bad henchwoman, and of course, Derek is just breathtaking as Lord Kishi in Lion Girl, I think.
Yeah, we always talk about the importance of these relationships. You can have the professional relationship, but liking each other is pretty big. You know what I mean? And I remember I worked with Kane Hodder on a film once back in the day, and he's such a cool dude. I remember him being like, he knew we made the film we were working on was mid indie. He knew we made no money indies, and he was like, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Hit me up." He's like, "If you ever have something for me, hit me up, because I'd probably do it cheaper than regularly, because we had the connection, which was really cool."
Yeah, a lot of horror community actors, they more than any other genre filmmakers, I think they have the tremendous humanity, and everybody talks about, on interviews and stuff like that. Everybody talks about, oh, so and so is the best guy. He's the real deal. Blah blah blah. 99.9% of the time, that's bullshit. And but I swear this. I swear this on my mother. Derek Mears is the best guy in Hollywood, and it's the truth. I mean, he's really, he wants to help people out, and he wants to finesse his acting, and he's willing to take on the challenging role, challenging situation. He's really the best.
Yeah, Derek. We met Derek a few times. I met you at Rocket Shock years ago at
Yes.
that con, and
Yes.
I remember Derek was always a dude running around. When you see the celebrities leave their booth, run around, talk to fans on the outside and stuff, that they're really good folks. You know what I mean? And he was one of those dudes.
Right.
So he gets the support. Just coming off of the Swamp Thing. You know,
Yeah.
glory. I get back into. We're doing a film right now that's based off of the swamp, and like I got heavy
Oh,
back into Swamp Thing,
okay.
because you know, the TV show, Wes
Yes.
Craven's, of course, you know what I mean, and his new show is fantastic. They
Yeah, he
you know,
looked great. He did an amazing job.
incredible. They need to bring
Yeah,
that back for like more episodes.
for sure. Yes.
I don't know why they got rid of it, because it was doing good. Fans were loving it. It might have been a COVID thing, budget.
Yeah, it was a funky time, like everything got screwed up one
Yeah.
way or the other, you know.
Well, film in general is taking a huge. We came out of COVID, and then you had the strike for like almost a year, which was killing people too. Madness, you know what I mean?
Yep.
You brought up Gun Woman before. I love Gun Woman. You know,
Thank you.
Karate Kill. You know what I mean? All these great films, dude. I love it. I always
Thank
tell
you.
people, I say, out of all the indie people, Kurando's one of my favorite filmmakers of this time right now. Really killing it. The style is. I fucking love your style so much. It's really
Thank
cool. It's like you know, we'll get into Maniac Driver in a little bit, but they all have that cool style, and you know, vengeance is always plays like a cool part in it, which I appreciate heavily. You know, to go into Maniac Driver a little bit, the lighting's beautiful. I love it. You know, the Giallo vibe of it, Japanese Giallo, I think is what they're going with. You know what I mean? You're the king
Yep.
of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, it was an interesting project. I was after Karate Kill, I was hired by this huge Japanese talent agency that represents, one of the Japan's top boy band, and they wanted to make an action movie, and I was in this 3-year development hell with these people who just had no clue how to make a movie,
Yeah.
and their opinion on this and that changes day to day. It was horrible. I mean, I was devastated. So then, after 3 years of just jerking me around, basically they just disabandoned the project. It was terrible, and so I needed to, book my movie number 5 in hurry. So this Japanese Pink Eiga company. Pink Eiga in Japan is this traditional softcore porn movies that it's not a hardcore real sex stuff. It's all fictional. The sexual acts are simulated. So it's different from adult videos, but so a lot of startup movie directors do a lot of Pinkuega, and basically, every 10-15 minutes, if you have some sexy scenes, you can do whatever you want. That's the world of Pinkuega. And this one Pinkuega company approached me saying, we want to produce some Pinkuega that actually could penetrate, no pun intended, but penetrate the world, the film festival scenes. So, that they wanted me to make something international. So I said, well, I haven't done a horror movie in my filmography before. So if you let me do a horror movie, I think we can team up. And so, I came up with the Maniac Driver idea and pitched it. They liked it, so they greenlit it, and we were going to do it. Then 6 days before the shoot, the company producer said, well, we are not allowing any of your political statement or any symbolism in the movie. So I said, what the hell is that all about? I mean, that's like, as long as you have some sexual scenes in the movie every 10 minutes, every 15 minutes, filmmaker could say or do whatever they want to do. That's the traditional reason why the filmmaker would commit to do a softcore, movie.
Yeah.
And so they turned it around, and they were like, this is a different sensitive political time, yada yada yada. So I said, well, screw that. I'm not doing this anymore. So we severed a tie. The studio and I severed a tie 6 days before the shoot, and but my producer, she's this amazing my partner of crime. But she said, all right, this is just a week, less than a week before the shoot. If I cancel the shoot, I have to pay them the cancellation fee. So let's just do the movie. I'm going to finance the movie out of my pocket. But let's do this movie super tight and let's do this. And so we ended up shooting Maniac Driver for 4 days and a half.
Wow.
And it just, I mean, it was the most brutal film shoot I've ever done.
Jesus.
And I, because it was so hard, I actually don't have that much recollection of what have happened on the set. I mean, we
Yeah.
just did it. We executed everything. And thank God for the amazing actor Tomoki Kimura, who played the main guy,
Yeah.
in Maniac Driver. He's this, I don't know, he's this acting genius with all the sensitivity, and he has the, I don't know, the athleticism of sharpshooter. Like
Yeah.
he can nail the take on the first take, bang bang bang, and that of course saved a lot of time. And yeah, so just thank God for all the talented actors who committed to Maniac Driver, and I was able to shoot that movie in 4 days and a half.
Wow. I didn't know that. More kudos to you. I'm a big fan of the film. I know in the special features you talk about how like you have to really ride when you're making like this, like a sleazy Giallo film. You have to ride a certain, you can't go too sleazy, you know what I mean? Especially in this climate. I mean, did you have any reservations about like, because the climate's like, sex stuff can be difficult nowadays, you know what I mean?
Totally. I mean, I even before this, quote unquote sensitive time, I always thought the number one job for a filmmaker, film director, is to provide the most comfortable environment for your performers to perform. So I talk to my actors all the time. Like, this is how we're gonna do this. I'm gonna shoot it this way. Your costumes, this, blah blah blah. I mean, I have no secret from my actors what I'm gonna do, what I want them to do. So yeah, even sensitive nudity scenes and whatnot, that doesn't change. I mean, I would make them more comfortable doing what they need to do and stuff. So yeah, we have no problem on set doing those things, because we all know what's to be expected, and then we just execute them. We're all pro. And yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna jump a little bit, talk about Lion-Girl, but unfortunately, this wokeism
Yeah.
um really killed the festival runs of Lion-Girl, because Lion-Girl is the good old-fashioned exploitation film. And then, it's actually my homage to Mr. Nagai's world too. Like, in his comic book, both male and female character, they all get naked. It's like he draws this amazing, beautiful naked bodies, men and women.
Yeah.
And so if I were to do a live action Go Nagai thing, nudity had to be in it.
Yeah.
Loads of it. So that's what I did. And basically, I had like a deal memos from two of the biggest genre film festivals in the world, promising us the world premiere, but they actually broke the promise, and they didn't show our movie at their festival, just saying, this climate, this wokeism age, we can't show this movie. And all those festivals, they lost a lot of sponsorship after COVID. A lot of companies, they wanted to save money. They couldn't afford to be the sponsor for the film festivals anymore. So basically, they're struggling. They're losing their funds. They can't make any controversial decision. They can't be, they can't really make any enemies. So they're kind of playing it safe, like within this bullshit wokeism thing.
Yeah,
So
bullshit, yeah.
yeah, so it's just we got killed, and I'm actually really pissed off, and I can't actually. I'm waiting for the right time and choosing the right platform to actually expose a lot of the bullshit in the whole film festival world. Like they're kind of dirty bunch,
Yeah.
and so I want to expose them someday. But
Too clicky
Yeah.
too. You know what I mean? That's always an
I
issue.
I mean, one of the bad things I find with film festivals that both Man and I have found is that we get emails from them all the time saying, "Hey, send us your film. We love to see your film." And of course, they'll take our money, but they then don't show our film. I mean, and especially I think the biggest problem is when you have these film festivals that are walking the line of wokeism, because the whole point of being independent filmmakers outside of the main big producers and all of that is to go against the grain.
Mhm.
And if you're a film festival that is only going to show what is safe, then you're doing the disservice not only to the fans and the filmmakers, but you're doing the disservice to the idea of what makes a film festival. We go
Credibility.
to film festivals to see what we're not going to see on Netflix or any of the other streaming sites,
yeah.
and that is big issue. I think that all film festivals have at this moment.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more. It's definitely that's exactly what's happening. They're playing it safe. They're going with they don't, the personally those festival directors or whatnot, they don't even jive with wokeism. They know it's just bullshit, but
Yeah.
they do it because it's better for the business,
Yeah.
and I think that attitude is something that we need to address, we need to talk about. But yeah, the film festival submission, man, it's so dirty. It's like I'll tell you the secret. It's like when they, get your money and they gather the film to be submitted and stuff, the almost like 95% of the program is already decided. Like they already have the programming done. Then they open to the public for the submission. Then when the bigger films that they want to screen, they get the cancellation for it. Then that's when they squeeze in all the public submitted movies. It's such a bullshit money making scheme. Um, it's a dirty world. I mean, if you just Google some of the, like I say, top five um genre film festival, and if you look who's behind it, this you start to see same person.
Yeah.
Oh, this film festival actually has this person as a programming director. Oh, this person actually also is advisor to this film festival. It's a doggy dog, it's a film festival gang thing that,
It
that they
is.
have, and it's not cool.
It's
Not
an
cool.
elite group, unfortunately. It's like the people they can't make the films, so we'll still control the films, but we'll be over here. We
Yep.
had Yui Bowl on the show earlier this year, and he was talking a lot about how like the festivals kind of fuck with him too, which is unfortunate. You know what I mean? But yeah, playing it safe, man. When has playing it safe ever produced good films? You know what I mean? Like never. It's like it's scary.
Yeah,
Like
I think we're entering a lot, scary time, like in different places, like this wokeism thing and self censorship, like they can actually change stuff, that was written a long time ago or whatever. So yeah, we're entering a really scary time, I think.
and we give so much power to the festivals. Like one day they'll have their own editing room where they'll make the cuts themselves. You know what I mean? They'll be like, well, we don't think this should be in here, so we're cutting it.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
crazy.
NBA, yeah.
Yeah,
Horrifying.
I think we should make a expose documentary about film festival.
I'm all for it. They don't show me no love anyways. Fuck them.
Hey, don't tease, man. He'll
Get
go
it
on
going.
TV and say, "Okay, we're doing it. We're doing the exposition film festivals right now.
Well,
Yes.
yeah, it's scary, man. I always, that stuff's madness of that, like playing it safe. Like we'll take like Maniac Driver. I feel like you always wear your kind of influences and homages on your sleeve, which is something I appreciate. And I take that that's kind of a Taxi Driver heavy influenced, as well as like William Lustig's Maniac. I think those are probably two of the biggest influence, and
Sure.
those masterpiece filmmaking on the, you know what I mean? And those are not this, they're so far from safe films, but it's weird. It's like we've kind of had these films that were cool and groundbreaking, and it's got us to this place, and now they're afraid of it. I don't know what the deal is with that. Yeah, scary.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, horrifying. It's madness. You think? What do you think? What do you think the end game for this is? You think it's going to get better before it gets worse, or it's going to get worse before it gets better with that?
I think. I mean, I mean, the whole, you know, I think. I mean, my family, my wife and son always accuse me of me being the doomsdayer. So you know,
Yeah.
and they hate it. But I, you know, yeah, I because of me being a doomsdayer, I think the world is kind of headed for the dark direction right now. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, economy is bad. You know, politics bad. Culturally, you know, crazy censorship people. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem is a lot of people wants to control other people. You know, I think that that's the bottom line problem for everything. And I think this is going to get worse. I don't think we I think we're heading for something really bad. And then I think then we're going to eventually rebuild, you know. But
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Hopefully it's not too bad. It's all, you almost wonder the only way to fix it would be like a resurgence of like indie festivals that could get the same push, get the same spotlight on them. You know what I mean? Which is, it's tough because those big, it's like almost you take a Hollywood producer that might want to squash like an indie because they feel threatened. It's the same thing with a festival. They'll squash indie festivals because they feel threatened. It's their meal ticket. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think I mean yeah, I mean the biggest problem is big film festival, they became big business,
Yeah.
so the business dealings with the artistic freedom and voices, a lot of times they don't jive, and unfortunately that's where we are right now.
It's scary. It's just another way to keep people out. It's like, the secret club thing. It's like you go, like when you get into filmmaking, about the secret club, but you go, wait a second though. If I just continue, persevering, making these good projects and keep trudging away, that eventually you'll get into this place. But it's almost like, I don't know, they bring in their people to take the position of what you should be in a way. You know what I mean? It's very scary.
Yeah, I mean I've been at it for over 20 years, and I haven't even found the entrance to this secret club.
Yeah.
I know it fucking exists, but I just don't know where it is. I don't even know which door to knock on. Like I've been doing this for 20 years, and yeah, it's if you, I mean, it just like all these first time directors' name just pops out. You don't know where they came from. You haven't seen even these names in festivals before or anything, and you just see them. Like doing some big horror movie for Blumhouse or A24 or whatever, and you just don't know where they come from. And I think there are the secret, I don't know, their secret labor camp that they pump out this
Yeah,
elite
I think
elite
so.
director, and they just clone them or something, and we can never get there. I don't know. I have no idea.
We always,
I'm sure if you go and go and check these people, you'll find out that the brother, cousin, former roommate of Steven Spielberg's Gardner or something like that.
crazy.
Right.
We
You'll
all
you'll Yeah, you'll find out that they're connected somehow because I mean nepotism. I mean has always run wild in Hollywood, but now coin the term a pandemic. I would say of that's the issue, and when you have pretty much the same type of people constantly throwing out the same stuff. I think that's one of the problems we have with Hollywood now. You sit down, you watch these films. I mean, they're all safe films. They're all. I mean, hey, I love superhero movies as much as the next guy, but even I'm kind of like, how about we take like a few years off? Let's like not make another superhero movie for like 10 years, okay? And focus on something else. Try to do something different instead of like, hey, this just, this have a movie with every person who's ever played Superman. Okay, it's a multiverse. It's like, can we do something else? Can we do something other than placating and just doing fan service? Like new ideas, new ways of taking these characters, or something.
It's like a greedy decision. Like they know that butts are going to get in seats, so they want to go with the safe route. To go back to that thing before, no, I won't say no names, but there was a dude that directed a movie called Clown years ago. And in the trailer for it, it said from Master of Horror, Eli Roth. Eli Roth wasn't attached to the film. But like, because of that, he got the attention of Eli. I feel like if we did it, we'd get a lawsuit, you know what I mean? But like, he got the attention. And then he did like a movie called, I think, Cop Car. And then they gave him a Spider-Man movie. It was like, where'd this guy even come from, dude? Yeah, so it's a weird deal. But it's tricky. It's definitely one of those things for sure. But it's money, unfortunately. It's like there's show business, there's the business side of it. And making movies are very cool. It's a blessing to be able to do them. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody kind of wants to get in. And the family aspect's a little weird, but then again, it's like, if we were at this peak, we were at this place and we had a nephew or whatever that wanted to make movies, we would probably try and usher them in as well, you know what I mean? So you can't really give them too many hard times, even though it's
You can give them hard times. I'll give them hard times for you.
It's unfortunate not being your nephew.
I mean, I don't have a nephew in these yet, but I'll give them hard times.
Yeah, well, I got my nephews in the film. It's not quite the Spider-Man movie, directing the Spider-Man movie, but we let him go, you know what I mean? I always like to ask, with Maniac Driver, the idea for the helmet to go, when you have a lot of like horror films, the look is really make or break of the film, and I thought it was really cool. At what point did the motorcycle helmet in like the creative process come into the mix of that?
Well, I always wanted to have the motorcycle helmet killer thing in my movie. That's that's a very popular motif in Italian slasher film and giallo films, and I wanted to do it. So that was kind of like easy, like one of the first thing that I came that really wanted something I wanted to do in the movie. And the whole look of it, and of course the lighting you mentioned.
Lighting's beautiful.
Thank you.
It's one of my favorite shot wise, like the look of it. That's probably one of my favorite look wise of your films. I think it's very beautiful.
Thank you. We had it was the 4 days and a half crazy shooting schedule was actually
crazy.
Hindsight blessing in disguise, because the commitment was so short. A lot of A-listers, the A-list crew, Japanese film crew, they were able to come on and help me with the movie, because if ultra low budget, if they wanna book them for like 3 weeks, they'll say no, because they have to make a living. But 4 days and a half, they were like, okay, I can help you with that. And so I got this amazing lighting guy and camera guy. They all worked really hard on Maniac Driver with the super limited resources and time. I am very happy with how the look of the movie came out.
The falling away from like the almost like the soft core production company. Um, do you think you guys think you're better off in the long run for how it went, or
Totally. I mean, we had the creative freedom, and the studio wasn't breathing down on my neck. So I think them being kind of weasel, like they don't want to, they just want to pump out the product versus making a movie really. So I think we were really lucky to be able to part with them. And like I said, my biggest thanks goes to my producer who financed the movie on her own, and we were able to do the movie. So we were very lucky, and I'm really proud of the movie.
I agree. I think it's better off for it. What a bully move, man. 6 days before you're gonna shoot to be like, change that. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
So weird. Like they knew you didn't want to do it, and they're like, well, we'll give him last minute, so he has to because he wants to make his movie. We'll give him last minute. You know what I mean? Terrible.
Yeah, the producer I was dealing with, he was kind of a classic film business weasel, like he would deliver bad news a possible last minute, and oh, by the way, but like he would drop this really bad news.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
well, why didn't you say that before? But yeah, I'm actually really happy that we were able to do Maniac Driver as an independent movie, and we got the healthy distribution in some parts of the world, not everywhere, because but again, when we were shopping in around, the pandemic happened, and it was really kind of whole film distribution world was like in a funk. But we got the Japanese, it was released theatrically in Japan, and when it came out on Blu-ray, we actually got a number one spot on mystery suspense category in Japanese Amazon. So, I mean, we were above all the expensive movies, so we were really happy and proud of the movie.
They hooked you up with the packaging too. They gave you cool packaging with the red like shell case, which I love that. As a physical media person, I love when
Right.
they go the extra mile and make it look like extra cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the first 300 or 500 copies of Maniac Driver, the Japanese edition, actually had the bonus soundtrack CD with it, and I think that was a good gimmick. And
Yeah.
basically, we sold out the first press just within like 3-4 days of releasing. So yeah, it was a hit, and because we produced it with the no money, my producer got the money back, and so it's a happy story.
I can't say enough good things about
Thank you.
You know what I mean? I really do. I'm a big fan. Been following you since we met at Rocket Shock. You know what I mean? And just like, yeah, dude. Like I said, I ain't whistling Dixie. Like, I think you're one of the best indie filmmakers right now doing. And I'm always telling people go check out your stuff. It's as we do the like no budget films, like and I know you got a little bigger budgets, but you're still in the indie world, and you'll see filmmakers that go out with a big chunk of change and come back and not have any quality to the film. And I always give kudos. Your films they look great, they sound great, they flow nicely. You know what I mean? You ride the edge where it's not, you know what I mean? It's not too crazy, but it's not watered down. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, and I always have kudos for filmmakers that do that, because we're heavy on like that whole safe is like no good. Like art shouldn't be safe. You know what I mean? So kudos for sure.
Thank you.
What do you got coming up next on the docket? You developing a new flick? You got something ready to roll, or?
Well, since Lion-Girl was my first studio movie, and it was the biggest budget so far, that my sixth movie. So right now I'm in this kind of weird filmmakers purgatory right now.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like no one wants to talk to me until the box office result of Lion Girl is in. So, um, you know, I mean, I guess I can pitch around, you know, different ideas right now, but if I have the box office result of Lion Girl from Japan with me, I think that's going to. I'm hoping that it'll be a hit over there, and it'll open more doors for me. But you know, right now I'm really, you know, I mean, Lion Girl, I was involved with it for like well over 3 years, you know, and
Yeah.
it just I mean I personally want to see how it does in Japanese box office. It will be released in theaters nationwide in Japan, January 26th next year, and you know, this is like the biggest. You know, opening that I've had for my other movies, and you know, this is the first time that they actually will have the T-shirt sold at the theaters and a baseball cap,
Very
and
cool.
they're even trying to make like a Lion Girl ring, and you know, my movies never came out with merchandising before,
Yeah.
but you know, this one is the first time, and so I'm just, you know, really I want to ride the ride, and
Yeah.
I really want to see the result of the box office. Then, you know, I'm gonna talk to the same studio maybe or a different studio to see what I can do next. But you know, it's you want to go up and up, you know. So
Well,
like
for sure.
you know, like a you know. So hopefully my seventh movie will be a bigger budget. So you know, it take a little bit longer to set it up. So you know, I'm just anxiously waiting for the result of Lion Girl to come in, and I can start you know, developing different stories. But I mean, of course, I have tons of, you know, unproduced ideas.
Yeah.
So whenever I can start, you know, whenever I can talk to the money guy, I can whip out many ideas.
I know it ends kind of leaving an opening for a sequel. You know what I mean? So
Oh, sure.
I don't know if you were planning for that or if you were, or as a director, like what do you think's better? You know, jumping, you know, if box office is good, jumping into that sequel, or trying to kick off into something new, and then you can always return to a sequel.
You know, at this point, I really just all I want to do is you know, just make movies, you know, like you know, like I want to support myself and my family with my filmmaking, and you know, I don't want to take side jobs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So well, you know, whatever, you know, get me the paycheck doing what I love, you know, making movies
Yeah.
is cool, you know. So I'm willing to do the sequel. I would love to do the sequel. I would love to, you know, team up with Tori Griffith, who was amazing Lion Girl, and Damien, you know, amazing Kenshi Shikura, the sidekick character. I mean, all the main cast members for Lion Girl. I would work with them again on a heartbeat, you know.
Yeah.
So you know, so I'm actually really looking forward to, you know, possibly doing a sequel, you know, with the same cast. So you know, that's that if that happens, great. If they want to develop something different with me, that's cool, you know. So I'm not limiting myself to anything really. I'm just open for any possibility.
Yeah. I was seeing it like some for a little bit films like they would, the distribution company would get that film, but then they'd pick somebody else to do the sequel type deal. You know, that was happening for a little bit. I mean, still probably happening. So
Right.
you gotta just make sure you get the EP and the check. That's all that matters. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I mean, this depends, you know, like it depends on what direction the studio wants to develop the sequel into. Maybe that's not something I want to do. I don't know. But I'm not going to sell myself short, you know. I mean,
Right, right,
I don't want to be quote unquote sellout, you know.
right.
So yeah, but yeah, I'm open. I'm really open. So
Hell yeah. Well, it's always a pleasure. Kurando, you want to tell folks where they can check out your stuff and get a hold of you if they want to get a hold of you?
sure. You know, I'm on all the social medias. Just if you Google Kurando Mitsutake, my name, I'll come up somewhere. And Lion-Girl became available in the States on November 7th. So it's on different digital platform. The physical media is out from Cleopatra Entertainment. It's loaded. The Blu-ray edition is loaded with behind the scenes stuff. The DVD has little, but because it's a smaller thing, they can take so much information. So it's not fully loaded, but so I would suggest if you have a Blu-ray player, please pick up the Blu-ray copy of it. And Lion-Girl will hit the Japanese theaters on January 26th, and I'm really looking forward. They're really Japanese market is treating this as a big cult movie. So hopefully it does great over there. And I guess I'll be talking to you guys again when I do the sequel.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. I know, yeah, I know Lion Girl and Maniac Driver on Amazon.
Yes.
America loves its Amazon. You know what I mean? So that's the place to go grab.
Yeah, I mean nowadays you can't find any physical medias in the physical stores anymore.
Yeah.
Like all the, I mean, even at the Best Buy, the DVD, Blu-ray section is so small now. I think it'll be practically be gone, next year or whatever. But yeah, Amazon has many of my movies, both on Amazon Prime streaming, Amazon Video. Or the physical media, so please check it out. And the Maniac Driver Blu-ray is a beautiful package too. So,
yeah. And when you're watching beautiful lighting, you need the Blu-ray. You need the Blu-ray. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
To go back to that thing you were saying about Best Buy, I don't even, Best Buy might not even sell movies anymore. Somebody was telling me a lot of those chains, you don't get no movies there.
Yeah.
It was crazy because that was the hub forever.
Yep. Changing world.
Yeah. It's scary. I don't like the streaming's fun, but like as far as collecting movies, like the digital thing's no good because like we talked about today with like elite people almost. It's like who's to say they're gonna erase it out of your computer for you know what I mean, or just say, oh, you can't have that no more. Who knows?
Yeah, it's having your own library is your freedom. You can watch whatever you want anytime. So yeah, I believe in physical media. And yeah, I mean, it's really sad that nowadays, in the States, a lot of the smaller indie movies and many of foreign movies, they do get the digital distribution, but they don't release the physical media. And I was talking to my friend from music industry yesterday, and he said there are a lot of bands that don't produce CDs anymore, because they don't sell, and they cost them their overhead of producing the CDs high, so they just do the streaming. So the physical media or building your library thing, is a thing of the past, and I'm really really sad about that.
It is sad. It's very sad. Well, it's madness. So everybody out there support physical media and go get some Blu-rays. Do it big. Get some Blu-rays from Kurando. You know what I mean? One of the best in the biz right here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
But always a pleasure, man. We definitely want to have you on. If the next project, a sequel or not, we definitely want to have you back on. And
please, just anytime, just let me know.
I want to talk about these festivals going array, all these crazy festivals. Maybe we'll get you Uwe back in the bill. We'll get a big combo. It's
yeah, maybe you can gather some filmmakers who had interesting episodes about the festivals or something. Maybe we can have a little group discussion. I would love to be a part of it.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll get working on that. That'd be good times.
Great.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Well, thank you guys so much for having me, and great talking to you. And hopefully, sooner than later, I can get to talk to you again with the new movie.
Hell yeah, and good luck with the January opening. I call it now. I speak the words out. Big success and big next level shit. I'm digging it.
Thank you so much.
I love the movie, and I think other people, Alex does too, and I know everybody else gonna.
Great. Thank you.
Hell yeah, thank you, man. All right. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, catch you guys later. Thank you so
All
much.
right,
Happy
okay.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye. And that was the great Kurando Mitsutake. Always a pleasure, man. We've had him on the show in the past on the Boombastic Network. And I think if the shock treatment, an eye for vengeance episode, I think on the Patreon you can catch the video, and I think on the audio's out there still floating. But to catch a little bit more about some of his earlier films that we didn't talk about today, definitely it'd be a good double header, a little two-parter double feature to catch that episode and this episode. And Kurando is the man, dude. I love Kurando. Met him at Rock and Shock maybe 10, maybe even longer years ago, and kept up with them. And, you know, like I said, I wasn't just whistling Dixie. Watch the films. They're fucking really good. You know, you watch an independent film and you'll go, oh, it lacks there. It lacks there. It's fun, but lacks there, a little lacking over there, a couple more lacking over here. Kurando's movies they're fucking awesome. You know, he's a dude that he takes the money that he can get, you know what I mean? And he makes films that are way better, you know what I mean, than what you would expect with that budget in the indie world, you know what I mean? Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Alex, what do you think? We gotta get you in one of them. We gotta get you in a Kurando movie.
Hey, I'm totally down. I mean, heck, I was tempted to be like, hey, sequel, hit us up. But you know, don't want to push ourselves. But yeah, I mean, I love his style, and like I said in the beginning, what I think really makes is the fact that um when you watch a film, you can always say, well, that's very American, that's very Japanese, that's very whatever culture that the director came from. And as he pointed out, and I made a comment, was like Lion Girl is a perfect example where you can see the um culture of both America cinema and Japanese cinema kind of melding together. And I think that is extremely cool for a lot of reasons. One of the main one is it creates something unique. It creates something new.
Yeah.
And I keep on saying it on this podcast and any other podcast I'm on, that the biggest problem with Hollywood, the biggest problem with films right now is the fact that everyone's trying to get the safe route. Everyone's like, ooh, this made money in the 80s, so this redo it. This make it a huge franchise because we know we're going to make money off of it.
Yeah.
But no one's taken the chance to try to do something original or take an old idea and try to do something new with it. And I mean, when you watch Kurando's movies, it's beautiful for the eyes. It's well put together. It's cinematic, and it is different. It is a melding of two different cultures together, which I love when I see that happen because it gives you something new, and but yet still at the same time familiar.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we need, something where, you know, you can still feel familiar to it, but yet it gives you something more. And if you are a fan of anime, Kurando is the man for you because watching his films is like watching like actual anime live action. And I know that I've heard from a lot of people who are huge anime fans with a lot of live action remakes or adaptations where they're like, well, they're missing this and they don't have this. Kurando's given like uh, I think his style just gives to itself of the live action anime and gives it new life, and I think is really well done.
Oh, for sure. And there is a comic book style to it. You know, it's funny that Lion Girl's kind of like a comic book movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like his version of a comic book movie in the sense of like where it came from. You know what I mean? Very cool stuff. Yeah, I can't say enough good things about Kurando. Great dude, super talented filmmaker. You know, I like talking with Kurando because like he's a higher independent than we are, you know what I mean? But I feel like we all deal with the same struggles, you know what I mean? Like we get a lot less money and he's got a lot less than a Hollywood film, you know what I mean? And I always root for the underdog, man. And when they're good people, it makes it even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that Kurando always has my love, respect, and support. The gentleman said happy holidays before he bounced out. And that's right, because ladies and gentlemen, you're catching this episode in the December issue of the BoomBastiCAST. So also be on the lookout, because with that being said, Yuletide Christmas special will probably be popping off in a week or so. So make sure you tune into the Boombastic Media YouTube page to catch that. If you want to catch it early, you can catch that on the Boombastic streaming Patreon page. That's right, Boombastic with 2 O's streaming. You know, support some indie folks up in her. You know what I mean? And hell yeah. Kurando was a great season ender, season 5 ending, and the ending is just the beginning, if you know what I mean. Ooga chaga, ooga chaga. So with that being said, we hope everybody has a great Christmas season and a happy new year. We won't see you for both. This will be our last intake. And you'll catch us next up on season 6, episode 1 of the BoomBastiCAST. Thanksgiving just passed, but we're thankful for everybody who listens to the show, man. We really appreciate it. You know, you show up with the views is a fantastic thing. I'm downright emotional here. I remember when we first started bringing guests on the show, we were getting around 150, maybe 200 views on those things. And the next season, we bumped up to like the 300, the 400 mark. And then this season, I got to thank you all out there for sure. From the bottom of our BoomBastiCAST hearts, because each episode we've been popping off and getting from 700 to 800 views, and I love it. Some people will go, some people wipe them out their ass with those numbers, but not us. We appreciate every view we get, you know what I mean? And each one of you out there listening and watching, you know, much love to y'all. We hope we bring what you need to the show. We're trying to get a nice inside scoop from fans that love the medium of film and TV and music and comedy and books. You know what I mean? We try and bring you some of the most interesting people that you may know and may not know, but now you will know, you know what I mean? And yeah, much love and appreciation to everybody out there rocking with the BoomBastiCAST. We just want to take a moment to say that. And we hope you all have a great Christmas and a happy new year. And we'll catch y'all on the Christmas special. Stay tuned. Peace. Alex, you want to say anything in closing?
Just that I love Kurando's movies, and I can't wait to see what he has in store.
Kurando is an equal opportunity filmmaker. That's right, equal opportunity. There is naked females and naked males in his films, and I'm not scared by that. Alex used to be scared by stuff like that. I remember the first time I showed Alex the Hawk, Alejandro Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre, starring the great Sabrina Dennison, who was also in our Insomniac short. There was a penis swinging, and he was like, "Can't do it, can't do it." I think it might not have been you. Some, you know, I always find it funny whenever there's a penile, you know, you got some pinochle hanging out in a film, and people get so fucking blown away by seeing it, and it turns them off. And it's like, it's art, man. It's an artistic thing. It's trying to be real and raw with you. Let it in your heart. Don't let it kill you. You know what I mean?
True, but I do have to say, I do understand women's aversion to the classic dick pics.
Yeah, I feel you. When you don't want to see them and they just pop up in your face, it could be an issue.
Yeah, it's like, okay. This is awkward.
The female body is way more beautiful than the male body.
Yeah,
and it's a scary sight sometimes. But we're just speaking for ourselves, of course. And hell yeah. So definitely get out there, support the BoomBastiCAST, support Kurando Mitsutake. Love that dude. And you should too. And with that being said, we'll catch y'all on the next episode of season 6 BoomBastiCAST. Peace.